Alright, welcome back to Bleach, anime review, episode number 41. We're here reviewing episode 31 of Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, which is also the 397th episode of the series, Against the Judgment. By the way, in just a few weeks, we'll be celebrating, so, this is kind of weird, so, apparently, on December 7th, it's going to be Baby Hold Your Hand 2. Okay, actually, I had to bring it up. Okay, so, Against the Judgment, and this is interesting what it adapts here. Pages 14 to 16 of chapter 612. Pages 6 to 19 of chapter 613. The first 9 pages of chapter 614. The first pages 7 to 17 of chapter 621. The entirety of chapters 621, 622, 622, 623, pages 1 through 7, and 14, 17, and 624, page 1 of 625, and pages 10 and 17 of chapter 626. You're like, wow. Good amount of material. You might be thinking when it comes to like 612 to 614, are those chapters, as of now, are they fully adapted? I would say yes. Those 3 chapters are definitely fully adapted. What about 621? Is that fully adapted? For 621, it's not a full adaptation. It's kind of weird with this one, where it's like they adapt like half this freaking chapter in one episode. For 625, it's just the first page. But in case you're curious, though, is it going to be another episode covering this one? Not yet. It's just this. It's basically going to be the very. It's basically going to be the very next episode, where it covers more of this chapter. It's like a preview. It's like the ending of this episode is a preview. So, the first portion of this episode is that there's this goo coming down from the Soul King Palace, and a lot of the Soul Rivers are covered in it. Look how basically Ikaku and the Pretty Boy managed to eliminate some of them. And then, things splits, because, this is spiritual pressure. Who is it? It's Sosa Aizen, who just got freed last episode, and everyone's shocked to see him. Given the fact that, wait, aren't you supposed to be in prison? And he's like, I was released from my sentence. And he sees Rukia like, oh, congratulations, Rukia, promotion to lieutenant. Like, I knew you make it that far. Yeah. I mean, despite the fact that he actually was trying to kill her for reasons related to the early part of the show, at least he had respect for her work. Excuse me. Yeah, at least got to preach the fact that, because here's kind of the thing that comes to her squad 13. For the longest time, like from the start of the series, up until like when they first expanded the whole Soul Society stuff, up until after the time skip, it was shown in a flashback in this very season. Squad 13, after which the guy who actually died was actually Ichigo's cousin. Yeah, because the fact that Ichigo's father is his guy's uncle. So after he died, he did not want a lieutenant. Not right away, of course. It took him a while to decide one, and pretty much in the way the 2 co-seats of Squad 13 practically took the job of like going to lieutenant meetings. And then Rukia was promoted, probably because of her, well, I think because basically she's a hard worker, so of course they promoted lieutenant. Renji, of course, stays lieutenant the entire series. He does never get promoted. Yeah, he basically debuts as lieutenant for, I believe it was like Squad 7, and he stays lieutenant the whole series. He does not get promoted to captain at all. So, and of course, you also see Byakuya's here. Now, I should point out that the outfit Byakuya is wearing it is mostly put basically the attire that he was sporting post time skip. The only slight alteration this arc gave him was basically a hat. Yes, because post time skip, if anybody was seeing his look, we had pre time skip, we had like braids in his hair. Post time skip, he had those removed and he stopped wearing his scarf. As for why he stopped wearing his scarf, it was never explained in the series why he never stopped wearing it. So, and of course, basically, and then like he tries firing spiritual pressure at the Soul King Palace. Doesn't exactly work because of their restraints. Thanks to the current captain, Squad 12, he's like proud of this technology. And then he's shot by frickin' Quincy. By a guy called Underbelly. It's like, oh, I can basically put on holes you. Of course, being shot. And despite the fact there's no tactical advantage, now, the person who freed Aizen was, in fact, the current squad captain, who actually used to be the captain of Squad 8. Yep. Also, by the way, Kapachi Zaraki, he returns after being out cold, and he's looking for his lieutenant, who has disappeared. Yeah, she has disappeared at this point. He does not know where she went. He does not know her secret yet, as far as I can tell. So, and also, I think it's lieutenant. I think the current lieutenant of Squad 1, because she was basically a lieutenant for Squad 8. She took over from the previous lieutenant of Squad 1, which the only reason why she took over as lieutenant of Squad 1, because here's the thing. Squad 1 virtually doesn't exist. And the reason why for that, because the Quincy's practically wiped out the whole entire unit, including its captain and lieutenant. Yes, the captain commander, who has been the captain since before the start of the series, he died at the start of the story arc. Yeah, a 1,000-year-old man died at the hands of Urabaha. Yes, the Quincy King, which the manga referred to him as Emperor. So, in a way, Squad 1 technically only has two people. Just the captain and his lieutenant. That's it. Because the Quincy's massacred the whole entire squad. Yeah. And the only reason why he was promoted, because of the three students of the previous head, Yurichi, the one who's captain of Squad 4, she was busy with Kapachi, and the other one was too ill to take the job, so the guy who's currently in charge basically was the most obvious choice to be the captain commander. And probably because basically he had probably the most experience of all their captains, who actually was more healthy. So basically, then Underbelly gets killed by one of his people, BB. He apparently doesn't like him, and apparently that he wants to work with them to go to the Soul King Palace to get revenge on Urabaha for abandoning them. And of course, they build a gate to go up there. And then all of a sudden, the Vizards show up. Yes, the Vizards, who have been absent throughout a lot of the story arc. I think they made appearance briefly at the start of it, and they've been absent for a long time. And after they basically pour this unwet liquid on the ground to make the special gate, Urakawa personally requests them to put on the Soul Reaper uniforms. Because why not? And in case you're curious, they did this in the manga too, because they're back in the Soul Society. And then pretty much when this happened, meanwhile, near the Soul King Palace, Ichigo wakes up, or he basically is exhausted, or she's hungry. I thought that was kind of funny because it's a gag. Because now we're getting to comedy. It's like, man, I missed this comedy because it's been absent throughout a lot of this story arc because it's been so serious. I really miss this comedy. And then here's the thing. Apparently the reason why Ichigo survived an attack by Uru was because Code was in his clothes. I'm like, Code? Seriously? The guy who's been absent since the start of this story arc. He was there at the beginning. Apparently, he had Ichigo's clothes the whole time, which I thought was so funny. And you have Yoruichi's arm back. Well, by the way, when they cut here from the scene, Yoruichi's panty shot. Yes, they cut that here. Yes. It's like, okay, everyone's back up running. Let's get back going. And then a gate for Wakamundo opens up. And here comes Grimmjow, making his first appearance in the 1,000-year Blood War arc. Which, as far as I can tell, it's the same voice actor. He's like, oh, hi, Ichigo. And he's like, you're Grimmjow. Yep. I thought that was awesome. And of course, the episode ends post-credit scene with Urabaha getting more powerful. But I would say the good highlight of this episode was the return of Grimmjow and the return of the Vizards, which was so awesome. Really good episode. Now, of course, I haven't got to the point yet where a friend of mine decided to basically put the series in hiatus because he got burned out of all the villains winning a lot of the time. Well, at least gotta say this episode full of comedy. Well, at the very end, of course. Like, I laughed because I would say, like, if you look at all these characters who just returned to this episode, like I mentioned, Conan has not been seen since the very start of this story arc, which came out 2 years ago. Yes, seriously. The Vizards, I think, were briefly featured at the beginning and have been seen since then. Grimmjow himself has not been featured in this story at all, and now he returns. And don't worry, there is more coming. And people you would not expect to return, but they do. One apparently is a fan favorite. The other is more like, yeah, he was there for plot device, and the only reason why their character was fan service. But I love the fact that you have Orihime near Ichigo, where she's like falling on him after she's like being exhausted. I thought it was funny the fact that apparently she's hungry. I like that. That's actually a funny gag in all anime I've seen, where like they all laugh like, "Ooh, they're all hungry." The fact they're trying to eat some food. Which, yeah, they might get some food later, but yeah, funny ending to this, fun ending to this episode. And of course, I can't wait for the next episode, which will air next week. Now, I thought this might be it because I did not know when a lot of the other anime would be released today. So, from what I can tell, Blue Exorcist has been released, but not Demon the Retribe. That's not released today. Either delay it by a week or just delay it till tomorrow. I'm not sure. But Blue Exorcist, I'm going to watch that next. Yep. As was next after that. If Demon the Retribe or Rama Half does not get released, I'll watch that new anime. Which, I look at the runtime of these episodes. It won't take me very long to get this damn thing. Not really. But that's pretty much it particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. Next up is going to be Blue Exorcist, which I think this might be the first time I reviewed this on a Saturday. Because normally it was on Sunday, or actually not Sunday. A lot of times since this came back, I reviewed like Monday or Tuesday, even as far late as Wednesday. But I'm going to get that to say, because I want to, okay? But see you next video. Bye.